How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Pete's Carport. In front of me is my 1995 Chevy G20 van that me and my family absolutely love. We take the dogs out in it, have taken a few trips in it, and when I picked it up, it had less than 60,000 miles. It's over that hump a little bit. I think it's close to 70 right now, and had almost no issues with this van. This van has been absolutely wonderful. Everything works on it, AC, all the power stuff works great on it. It just needs a little love here and there because it's getting old. And one of the issues that just popped up, we believe, is the ignition control module. So we're going to swap that out. It still could be my initial thought, which was the fuel pump, because it's giving me weird stalling issues while driving. Every one of them have happened when the van gets hot. So if it gets hot, it was stalling out on me, and then it became an issue where it wouldn't restart. So I thought the fuel pump failed. And ironically, the next day, when it really wouldn't start, the next day it was able to start, drive back here. And I've been starting it a few times a week just to keep it going, and haven't had any issues. So I picked this up from the local auto parts store for 40 bucks, figured easier swap than that fuel pump, a lot less expensive, and it's something we can kind of test out and drive around locally and see if it makes a difference. Now, this was, like I said, from the local auto parts store, AutoZone, and I think it's supposed to come with thermal paste. That's not in there, but I might have some of that thermal paste, but I think you're supposed to put that on this to kind of protect it from getting heat soaked. So that is probably the issue we're having right now, where these things over time will start to degrade and they'll separate and stuff like that from all the heat. So want to make sure you put that on there. And this is the first time I've ever taken the engine cover off of a van, or this van, or any van really. So I'm working on that. I'm getting the front seat pulled back. We've got that cover kind of off of it, and we'll dive right into the engine bay and see how hard this is to do. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever done it. So you guys are gonna join me with this. Couldn't find a video out there specifically on a van, so I'm excited to possibly put this one out there for you guys. So let's dive into this and see what we can do. Well, guys, you probably know exactly what I'm dealing with right now, because I thought this was gonna be an easy job until I tried to remove that front seat. Those bolts go down underneath the car, and the only way to get them out is holding both sides. Tried doing it in the dirt. I said, no, I'm gonna pull it out here, and you can see it's running beautifully. I'm gonna put it up on the ramp. It's gonna make it a lot easier to get to those bolts, but you can use a deep socket. I think it's a 19 millimeter based on what I was just trying. And then you can vice grip the top, or even like open and wrench the top if you can get it jammed just right, and pull those bolts right off. So I'm gonna try to get under there, get this front seat out. I'll probably fill you in, won't really film much of it, but wanted to let you know that it's not as easy of a job as I originally planned on. So it's probably gonna take a couple more hours just because I had to move the van. Didn't wanna start, so I had to use my jump box, and now I gotta get it up on the ramps and get all set back up to start kind of from scratch. So let's get jumping on this project. All right, so I think I can get access without actually pulling the front seat. I already was able to get the air box out. I cleaned that out because had a little bit of leaves up in it, but overall looked really good. The filter looked really good. But you can see I can access the distributor here, and it looks like it's just got a couple of bolts, one on that side, one on the other side. I think I can get to both of them. A 7/32 is what I'm thinking this is. I tried to use a little Phillips head and that did not work. I'm gonna go ahead, see if I can loosen this up and we can access the ignition control module up underneath it, because I think it's right here, that plug right there, if I'm guessing right, and we should be able to access it once we pull that cover off the cap. Yep, that looks like that's the ignition control module. A couple little, same type of little tiny bolts that hold this cap in. I want to try to get this cap in without taking anything off, because I don't want to have to figure out where everything goes. Let me see if I can, oop, I already pulled one off. Let me see if I can go ahead and slide this out. I don't have much room with the camera right here, so I'm gonna move it over. All right, from the looks of it, you can see on this ignition control module, there's 2 little bolts holding it in. I believe that those are also the exact same size. I'm gonna keep that little socket on there. It's gonna be really hard to film. I might actually be able to put the camera here. Let's see. I may be able to get you guys this. Not sure if you can see it. Let me see if I can bring it down a little bit. I cannot see if you guys can see this, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove these 2 little bolts and attempt not to lose them. Although I just lost my socket. So I gotta go grab that, but I was able to grab that little, it's almost like a little screw. And I can grab the other side. Let me grab that socket. All right, so I went ahead and matched up and they are identical. This does not look like it's damaged at all, but something internal can be failing on this. Considering this looks like the original, it does say GM on it. I wish I got the GM replacement, but hopefully, I think this is Value Craft. Hopefully this Value Craft one does me good. And there was some thermal paste in there, so we're gonna go ahead and dab up our thermal paste on here. And this is going to be a little tricky to get it back in. If you can remove this seat, you'll have so much more access to this. But I figured the little bit of struggle I have to go through is way less than the struggle of removing this seat and then trying to get it back in. And then trying to take it on a trip with my wife, because she would not get in this car without a seat up here. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze in there like I did to get it out and get this thing put back in. I'm going to try to film it. Real hard to get that camera down in there, but I was able to do it that last time. So hopefully I can get you guys some good shots. That's got to be it. All right, so there are 2 sets of holes. Hopefully, this is the back ones seem to be the only ones I can get this into, but I'm having trouble threading the screw. Okay, there's actually 3 sets of screw holes. One up here, one back here, and one right here. So let me try moving it up a little bit. Oh yeah, that one's it right there. So it's, I I guess that second set. Wow, this one's gonna be real fun to try to get. Oh, I actually got it. No way. All right, let's try to tighten these two down, and then we'll put our wires back in. Yeah, seems to be tightening down. That's it. That one's tightened down. See if I can blindly do this one. That seems to be that one. And there goes my socket, but I got this fully tightened down. Now, I think that's our 3-wire. Where's the other little plug? Where are you at? Okay, here's the one little plug with the 2 wires, I believe. I think I had it right. Where'd you go? Yeah, it looks like there. Snaps in. That's on. There we go, that one's on. And now all we gotta do is get our cap put back in. And that actually should be pretty easy because that just lines right up. Now I gotta go ahead and grab my socket, get this lined up, put back on, and get my air filter put back in, and we can fire her up. As everything is back in there, tidied up, ironically, I ended up snapping this little screw because I tried to use this tool to tighten it down, and I went a little too fast. So I had to actually go down and buy another cap that came with the set of screws, but I'm gonna put that off to the side because eventually I will have to swap this out when I do a full tune-up, but this one looked really good. Everything looks really good in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and still run with this one. And one more thing I wanted to point out is my battery is 100% dead, like dead. And I'll show you guys here. There is absolutely nothing. Turning the key and nothing. Now, I have no affiliation, no sponsorship. In fact, I was sponsored by a different jump box, but that jump box ended up dying on me, and I never really got it to do all the things that I thought it could do. It wouldn't jump a lot of vehicles. So I jumped online, looked at some reviews, went ahead and picked up this Wolfpack 4000 amp. I have jumped every single vehicle I have with 0 battery life. I mean, like, you see nothing, not even a partial crank. And you'll see I'll hook this up. There is a boost button right there. I'll hold that down. Oh, make sure I hook it up right. Negative's over here. And let's see if I can do this with one hand. These batteries are really hard to get cables hooked up on just because of the front post. Let me go ahead and get this on with 2 hands. All right, I think I got it on there. You can see the start on there, and I can hear that going. Yeah, I got my keys on, as you guys can see. Look at that. And hopefully we get a start. All right. That's good news. Also, I have no check engine light. Now, I've got my anti-lock light because the cable going to the anti-lock brakes broke. Obviously, brake light because I got the brake on as I got up on these ramps. But that's good news. It started up. That's the first thing. Now, like I said, this didn't have any issues till it got warm. Still could be an issue with the fuel pump, as a lot of people have told me it could be fuel pump. A lot of people said fuel filter, but I did change that out more recently. I did a video on that as well. So hopefully this helps one of you guys out there that has this issue. You do not need to remove your seats, although it would make it 1,000 times easier. Getting the air box back in and those other screws back in, it was a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. But I felt like it was still a lot less effort than removing the seats, unless you got a lift or you got your car up in the air already and you've got impact tools and all that stuff to kind of get those seats out. Otherwise, having 2 people is really a necessity to get that seat out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna do an update in the comments to make sure that this works, but I'm gonna launch this video so if anybody does need to change the ignition control module out, at least they'll know how to access it, how they can put it in and out, and maybe a part number if you needed that. You guys have an awesome day, a blessed week. I'll catch you on the next video.